What if one of the most basic tools we have in cardiology, the humble ECG, could suddenly do something extraordinary? What if it could help us screen for really complex physical heart problems? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into, how AI is making this a reality right now. So this is the big question, right? Can this simple electrical tracing of a heartbeat, a technology that's been around for over 100 years, can it really tell us something deep about the physical structure of the heart? It seems almost impossible. But the answer here could literally change the game for cardiac screening. Okay, so let's get on the same page. When we talk about structural heart disease, or SHD, we're not talking about the heart's electrical system, like an arrhythmia. Think of it more like the heart's plumbing and architecture, the valves, the walls, the muscle itself. We're talking about physical problems, and these are the kind of major issues that are incredibly difficult to spot early. So why is it so hard? Well, that brings us to what's known as the SHD screening gap. And here's the heart of the problem. Catching SHD early is an absolute game changer for patients. But the tools we rely on, things like echocardiograms, they're just not simple or cheap. They need special equipment, trained technicians. They're just not available everywhere. This creates a huge bottleneck, you see. It makes it almost impossible to do the kind of widespread early screening we need to be doing. Okay, so to try and smash through that bottleneck, researchers came up with an AI model called PRESENT-SHD. Let's pop the hood and see exactly how they built this thing. So it all started with a massive amount of data. We're talking over 250,000 ECGs from nearly 100,000 patients. And crucially, every single one was linked to a definitive diagnosis from an echocardiogram. That's the ground truth. First, they trained these specialized AIs, called convolutional neural networks. You can just think of them as image pattern experts, to spot signs of individual heart conditions. But here's where the real magic happens. They brought in another algorithm, a powerhouse called XGBoost, to act like a general manager. It takes all the reports from the specialist AIs and combines their insights to make one single really smart decision. Now, building a model that works in one lab is one thing, but the real question is, does it work out in the wild? To figure that out, they put this model through some serious stress tests, validating it across a whole bunch of different patient groups. All right, let's talk numbers. The key metric here is called the AUROC score. The easiest way to think about it is on a scale from 0.5 to 1.0. A score of 0.5 is basically a coin flip, totally random. A 1.0 is perfect. So in its home hospital, this model hit 0.886. That's really, really good. We're talking excellent diagnostic accuracy right out of the gate. But accuracy isn't just one number. You've got this fascinating balancing act between two things, sensitivity and specificity. Check this out. With a 90% sensitivity, the model is amazing at catching people who actually have the disease. It's designed to be a great net. It doesn't want to miss anyone. On the flip side, the specificity is 66%, meaning it's okay but not perfect at telling healthy people they're healthy. And you know what? That's a deliberate choice. For a screening tool, you'd much rather cast a wide net and have a few false alarms than let a sick person slip through the cracks. Okay, this is where my jaw kind of dropped. The model didn't just work in its home base. It held up incredibly well in other hospitals. And then, get this, they tested it on a totally different population in Brazil, and it still performed beautifully. This is the holy grail for AI models. It proves this isn't some fragile one-trick pony. It's generalizable. It actually works in the real world. But real-world data isn't always clean and perfect. So the next step was to see how this thing performed under pressure in truly messy conditions. And it turns out, this tool is tough as nails. It works just as well no matter the patient's demographic. It can handle weird new ECG formats it wasn't trained on. And here's the absolute kicker. It works even if you just feed it a smartphone picture of an old ECG printout or a monitor screen. Just think about that. That single fact completely changes the game for making this accessible in remote or low-resource settings. So it's no surprise the authors summed it up like this, calling it a robust, scalable, and accessible tool. Robust? Yeah, we just saw that. It can take a punch. Scalable? Absolutely. You can roll this out anywhere you've got an ECG machine. And accessible? That's the whole point. It gets rid of the need for expensive imaging, at least for that critical first step. So that really brings us to the future and what the true potential of a tool like this looks like down the road. And this is where it moves beyond just being a diagnostic tool and becomes something like a crystal ball. What the researchers found was stunning. A positive screen doesn't just mean you have a problem now, it means you're 2 to 4 times more likely to develop SHD or heart failure in the future. Even if you look perfectly healthy today, the AI is seeing a warning sign on the horizon. So, what's the bottom line here? It's that this AI is really a two-for-one deal. It's a powerful tool for mass screening, finding the problems that are hiding today, and at the same time, it's a powerful tool for risk stratification, predicting who's going to need our help tomorrow. This kind of work really forces us to step back and look at the bigger picture. We're standing right at the dawn of a new era where AI can pull an incredible amount of hidden insight out of our most routine medical tests. We're turning simple diagnostics into these powerful predictive engines. So the question isn't if this will reshape preventative medicine. The real question is, how fundamentally is it going to change everything?